Some of the most damaging things that happened to me in my 20s, I did to myself. Not because somebody pushed me there, not because life was unfair, but because I was unhealed, unanchored, and making decisions from my wounds instead of from wisdom. Yep, this is that chapter, and I am not ashamed of it anymore. There is a particular kind of recklessness that lives inside of a woman who has experienced so much hurt before she learned how to protect herself. When you grow up having to navigate a lot of things that a child should not have to navigate, you don't arrive at adulthood with a full toolkit on how to be an adult the right way. You arrive with survival strategies that made sense in the war zone, and those same strategies become self-destructive in peacetime. I made financial decisions that I could not afford to. I found myself chasing after relationships that quite frankly were red flags that were dressed up as good conversations. I self-sabotaged several opportunities that came my way that could have actually changed my life because some part of me did not believe that I deserved them. I chose chaos over quiet because quiet made me sit with things that I was not ready to face. I was not stupid. I was not bad. I was a hurting woman making bad decisions. And I kept getting in my own way. The day that I finally understood that I had been my own worst enemy was the beginning of me becoming my own greatest advocate. And yes, I placed those labels intentionally because here's the truth. You cannot change what you do not name. I just got to a place where I had to look myself in the mirror and just own my own part in this old thing called the story of my life. Being your own worst enemy is almost never about weakness of character. It is almost always unprocessed pain that is looking for an exit. I want you to know that every self-sabotaging choice or decision that you made was you trying to navigate something that you had not healed yet. And also, God does not write up the seasons when you made mistakes. He redeems them. I want you to know that God has always been sovereign over your worst decisions and your best decisions equally. The level of sovereignty that God has in our lives as God is not limited or impacted by our decisions. And even though we may not see it, God has been working every single one of our decisions, both the good and bad, together for a purpose that we may not have been able to see while we were in the thick of it due to the chaos that we find ourselves in. If this is resonating with you and you want to take the opportunity to just sit down with yourself to process some of your previous choices, I want you to understand that the goal here is not shame. The goal is understanding. Because once you understand why you made those choices, it becomes much easier for you to stop them and break the cycle.